going on, everybody? It's the El Toro Fuerte. And man, oh man, have I missed doing these videos. I know I've been gone for a little while, just had a lot of stuff going on, but all the while I've been, bringing cards in, and just because I got this crazy idea in my head that I want to try and get into some kind of a competitive scene again at some point, so I'm prepping. And of course, as I'm prepping, we have a new ban list upon us. So I've seen a lot of the predictions, should be interesting. So first things first, I wanted to create a quick deck profile for you all just to take a look at here. Now this isn't competitive, it's not meta. You can do some good stuff with it. What it is, it's a fun, budget, casual, whatever you want to call it in that tier, Rocket deck. There are no guard dragons in here. It's primarily comprised of the Rokket Revolt structure deck. And as you'll see here, I'm going to go over the cards, go over the list, and I'll give you a couple of strategies how you can play it. I tried to keep, the cards that weren't part of the structure decks, I tried to keep them under a certain pricing threshold. So, that being said, let's get this show on the road. Okay, so the first card that I have here in the deck is a triple Rokket Tracer. Now, one of the great things I love about Rokket Tracer is the quick effect. Of course, you can target one face-up card you control. Does not have to be this card, does not have to be a monster. Destroy it, and if you do, special summon one Rokket monster from your deck except Rokket Tracer. Very cool, and it has, of course, the other effect that you can't summon from the extra deck unless it is a dark monster, and this can be used once per turn. So this is a very versatile card here in this deck. Next, we have triple of the Abso Router Dragon. Now, Abso Router Dragon is a very nice card. Just the amount of synergy that these Rokkets have is quite amazing. So if you control a Rokket monster, you can special summon this. Very nice. From your hand, and you can only special summon once per turn this way. Now if this card is, here's the main effect that you're going to use this for, is if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a Rokket monster from your deck to your hand. So I'll get in more of that. Next up on the monster list, Silver Rokket Dragon. Now, I put two in this particular deck here. Now Silver Rokket, along with a few of the other Rockets, share a very unique effect that when they are targeted by a link monster, you can blow them up, and they all do different stuff. So for example, this one here, you can look at your opponent's deck, banish one card, extra deck, sorry, and banish one card from it. Then they're in the end phase. If this was destroyed by battle or card effects, and you can special summon Rokket monster from your deck except this guy. So they have a way to kind of keep themselves moving if you have the right mix. So next up on the list here is one of the cards here, Rokket Synchron. It's a level 1, it's a tuner. Now this particular card here, I'm thinking I might even go 3 of in this deck, just because I haven't tested it with 3 yet, so I'm kind of concerned about getting the bad hand and whatnot. I mean, as you'll see, you can do a lot with this combination right here. So for this one here, when this card is normal summon, you can target one level 5 or higher dark monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, negate its effects, destroy it during the end phase. Very cool. All right, now we have Auto Rokket Dragon. I use 2 of those in this particular deck profile here. Nothing too special about it other than when it's targeted by a link monster's effect, you can blow himself up and then send one trap on the field to the graveyard. Now during the end phase, if this card was destroyed, blah blah blah, special summon a Rokket monster. Very useful again in this deck. Alright, on to the next one. I have 2 Defrag Dragons here. Now the Defrag Dragon is another very useful card in this deck. As you can see right here, you can special summon this card from your hand by sending one other monster from your hand to the graveyard, and you can only special summon once per turn. If he's in the graveyard, you can banish 3 monsters and bring him out. So it's very useful for a special summon if you need one. As you'll see, you're probably going to need as many as you can get with this particular deck, but it helps get rid of some of the, if you have an Abso Router in your hand, no Rockets on the field, discard the Abso Router, special summon that guy, and then you're just kind of moving on. Gateway Dragon is another one that I have 2 in. Now, I'm thinking maybe if you were running a competitive deck, you might want to run 3 of these in there just because of the effect right here. If your opponent controls a Link monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, now we have the individual. I use 1 background dragon, and here's another one. If this card is in the graveyard and you control no cards, you can special summon both this and 1 level 4. So a nice way to get some Link monsters on the field. I use a Magna Rocket Dragon. Now again, I may use more of these, I'm not sure. But again, if a Link monster targets this guy, you can blow him up and then send 1 monster on the field to the graveyard. And then I have a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. I think this card has been around long enough for all of you to know exactly what it does and what it's capable of. Fits in very well, and it is very, very affordable right now. So yes, there you have it. And lastly, I have 2 more monsters that are non-rockets. I put in 2 Dino Wrestler Pankratops for the special summon, you know, the attack power, and also the removal effect. Okay, so the first spell set that I use here is Quick Launch. Now this particular card right here is perfect for this deck. It is a quick play, and I have 3 of them in there. Special summon 1 rocket monster from your deck, but it cannot attack. Also destroy it during the end phase. Keynote here, this is not a once per turn, so if you have multiple copies of this, then you can activate them all in the same turn, which is very, very nice. Helpful to this deck. 3 Dragon Shrines. For those of you who aren't familiar with this particular card here, it is a normal spell card. Send 1 dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then if it's a normal dragon normal, send another one. So we don't have any normal dragons on here. This is used to get Abso Router and background dragon, if you need it, into the graveyard easily and kind of get your combos moving. I have 2 Boral generators in here. Now this is an equip. Activate this card by targeting 1 rocket monster in the graveyard. Special summon it, equip it to this card. Banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard, blah, blah, blah. You can draw 1 card. You can only use this one once per turn. So that is one, again, where it is only a once per turn effect. But it is a nice way to bring some of your monsters out of the graveyard. Boot Sector Launch, field spell card. Has 2 very nice effects, so 3 I should say. The first, all rockets gain 300 attack defense, and then every turn you can activate one of these effects. Special summon up to 2 rocket monsters with different names from your hand in defense position. Very awesome effect. And then of course the second one, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special summon rocket monsters with different names from the graveyard in defense up to the difference. Love this card in this deck. Now, I know the standard Rocket Revolt deck comes with polymerization and the other, I can't think of the name right now. I don't like those just because you're dumping so many things into the graveyard. So I use 2 Dragon's Mirror. Now, this is great because it is, you know, but you do have to remove the cards from play from your side of the field or your graveyard and special summon. So this is a great card to use, very versatile, very affordable. Now this one here, it might be a little bit more pricey in terms of just, you know, generalizing cards, but it is Allure of Darkness, okay? Being that these guys are all dark, draw 2 cards and banish 1 dark monster from your hand. If you don't have it, then have to send everything else to the graveyard. I like it. Again, it is a good way to get, you know, if you have all these that somehow end up with a horrible hand, Abso Routers, backgrounds in your hand, a way to get rid of them, use that, send them all to the graveyard. So it is a very cool card and helpful in this deck. The deck, all the standard Rocket Revolt comes with Twin Twisters, so of course I got these. Another way to protect yourself from your opponent's back row, or a way to, again, get rid of some of those big monsters in your hand. I run 1 Foolish Burial. Everybody knows what that does. All right, and to help out, thin the deck out, 1 Terraforming, and 1 Monster Reborn. Everybody knows what that does. All right, I do not run any traps. You are more than welcome to try it out, find out what works for you. Again, the standard Rocket Revolt deck comes with several traps: Red Reboot, Mirror Force, and a couple others. So yeah, it is very good. You can use those if you want. I opted not to just because I'm looking for a little bit of a faster pace in here, and the traps just seem a little bit too slow. So let's talk extra deck. All right, for the extra deck. Now, Now this comes with the standard Rocket Revolt, so I'm going to go with those first. Topologic Zero Boros. Again, very good card. Can be tough to bring out in the deck. Not entirely impossible, being a 2+, Link 4. But I like the arrows, like the effect. Alright, next I have one Quad Boral Dragon. Again, this does come with the structure deck. Nice little effect there. Alright. I run a triple burst dragon. Very good. This one here, I think you might get out more often than not. It is a nice card. 2+ monsters once per turn during the damage step. It's activated. You can quick effect, negate it. So I like it. It helps. 2400 attack, Link 3. I use 2 Boral Load Dragons in here. Everybody's familiar with this card right here. This can be brought out fairly easy in this deck. Alright, and rounding out the dragons that come with the deck, 2 Booster Dragons. It's got the nice little arrows pointing down there. And this one only requires 2 rocket monsters. So yeah, it's helpful, and it can actually help. Look at this. Once per turn, you can target one other face-up monster on the field. It gains 500 attack. Now, if you have one of those rockets that blows itself up and you want to get rid of one of their back row, one of their monsters, and you have one of those rockets, it comes in handy. You activate this, increase theirs. Before it does that, you activate their effect, quick effect, blow them up, and there you go. We are moving on. So that rounds them out. Now what I did here is I threw in a Beat Cop from the Underworld. This is nice. It's just kind of a generic, requires 2 monsters, and it has Beat Cop's effect. You can protect one of your monsters on the field. Witch's Apprentice, again another. This is dark. 2 dark monsters. The dragons are dark. Increases their attack by 500. If this card's destroyed by battle or card effect, target 1 dark monster in the graveyard, add it to your hand. And again, it's just versatile for the deck. Oh, you know what? And here we go. So, Boral Load Furious Dragon. This is such a cool card, and it does come with the Rocket Revolt structure deck. So we'll put this fusion over here. This guy has a quick effect. Target 1 monster you control, 1 your opponent controls, destroy them. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 dark link monster in the graveyard, special summon it, but it cannot activate the effect this turn. Awesome deck, awesome card for this deck. Now, with the Dragon's Mirror, and being that it is a fun casual deck, I had to throw in a 5-headed dragon just because you're throwing so many dragons into the graveyard. So take a look here, very simple. 5 dragon monsters, must be fusion summoned, cannot be destroyed. So, I mean, this is great. 5,000 attack. You like to get out the big beater monsters. This is a fun way to do it. I use 1 XYZ, Boral Load X Charge Dragon. This requires 2 level 4 Dark Dragon monsters. Fits right in. Cool effect there. And this is probably my favorite and most interesting ad here is the Beals of the Diabolic Dragons. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. When you take damage from an attack involving this card or from an opponent's card effect, this card gains attack equal to the damage you took. So not only does he's not destroyed by effects or battle, and you can just ram him into a higher attack monster, he's not going to die. He's going to gain that much the difference. So next turn he can go head to head if he lasts that long. I mean, there are so many different cards out there that can get rid of him. You have your bounce cards, just so many others, but it is a fun card. I do run 2 of those in the extra. So there are a ton of different combinations you can use. So let's go ahead and jump on Dueling Nexus so I can do a brief demonstration with a bot.